Basically, all of 2023, I quit social media. I had no social media on my phone at all. The only thing that was on my phone was my messages and my photos. That's the only thing I really used. And I'm going to talk about my experience with it, the pros, the cons, and how to do it yourself if you want to try to do it, because it's not an easy thing to do, especially in this day and age when everyone's addicted to social media. So yeah. So I started in April. I decided to delete everything: Instagram, Snapchat. I never had TikTok. Like Facebook, I didn't use. I only used it for Marketplace. I had no account. All my social media gone. And the first drawback that I experienced was the thought and also the perception that I'd disconnect from so many people and so many friends. Wow. So what I did is I sent a message to the people that I'm close to or close enough to. I sent them a message on Instagram and Snapchat. I was like, hey, look, I copied and pasted a message basically saying, I'm just getting off social media. Everything's all good. Message my number if you don't have it, or call me if you need anything, blah, blah, blah. Because what would happen, and what my fear was the people that would usually message me on Instagram and Snapchat for plans, they'd message me and then obviously I wouldn't respond because I didn't have my account. And maybe they wouldn't have thought to message my number because people didn't really talk by number. A lot of people don't. It's usually on social media. And so yeah, I just did that. And yes, that meant cutting off other people in life, because not in a negative connotation, cutting them off, but I wouldn't have access to certain people. And the way my mind worked at the time was, if they weren't close enough to me to have my phone number, then there was no purpose of them needing to reach out to me. So I went through my followers, my following, whatever, message all the people that I thought that I have a relationship with, that I thought would try to message me or whatever, and I deactivated my account. Same with Snapchat. And the first few weeks is difficult. It's very quiet. You have nothing to do. You realize how much time you spend just tapping onto social media, Instagram, Snapchat, and just scrolling or just looking for something to do in just snippets of your day. You'll find yourself at a random time in your night just going on Instagram for 5 minutes, or when you're waiting in line for something, or when you're sitting down, going on Instagram or Snapchat, just 5 minutes responding to people, sending messages, blah, blah, blah. Just pointless stuff, sending videos and photos of things to people, whatever. And that all stops, that all goes. So you'll be in line, or you'll be sitting down somewhere in public, and you'd get socially awkward, or you'd get bored, and your first instinct would be to go on your phone and tap on Instagram and Snapchat, and you're like, it's not there anymore. So you're forced to either, at the start, I'd go through my photos, I'd go through ridiculous stuff. I've never checked emails so much in my life. I just check all these things, and then it gets to a stage where after a few weeks you become more conscious and more aware, and you put it back down. You're like, there's nothing I can do on that. And you start looking around, you start talking to people, you start just observing the world, you start being conscious of your own thoughts, because now you have so much time to reflect. And it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. I feel like you definitely do progress so much further in life when you're not on social media, because you're not being distracted. You're able to have a clear sequence of thoughts. Because imagine your brain on social media. You'll be having a thought about something, and then it would switch about something else, and it would switch, and then you'd jump on your phone, then it would switch, you'd peak, and your dopamine receptors would peak, then it would drop down, and then it'll peak again from something else. And it's constantly new information coming and going, new pointless information. That's the most important thing. Pointless information coming in, going out from these social media applications. And so when you get off it, it's like the world was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You have a thought, you reflect on it, your thought changes. You reflect on that, your thought changes. And it's so much less chaotic, and you become so much more aware in life. It genuinely is incredible. And so after a few months, a few weeks, the next stage you'll get to is you'll start looking at people on social media, like say you're out with friends and you see them on their phone on social media. And that just annoys me, by the way. When you're like hanging out with mates and someone's scrolling through TikTok, that just get out of you. No, joking. But like, why do you need to be on social media when you're being in a social setting? Like, you've got other times in your day to do that, you know? You start watching people scroll around you, or just their thought patterns and the way they talk about social media. And they just appear like zombies to you. They literally appear like the rats in the rat race. You watch them scroll on social media and they just look numbingly just entranced. They're just entranced. It looks ridiculous. They look brainwashed. They genuinely look brainwashed. People that are just scrolling on social media, like, it's just ridiculous. It looks so, like, you just realize you take a step back and your eyes really open of how it's actually like an addiction. And you look at the people that use it and it's like they're aliens. They're genuine aliens from another planet. And then you get to the stage where it's been a few months and people are starting to say things around you and they just sound like stupid. They're singing certain songs and they're saying certain things that are from trending TikToks or like stories or whatever. They're from trending social media pieces. I can't even think of any. Like, for example, like back in the day when people like 21, remember that 21, like things like that, or ouch, Charlie, like, but more stupid now because it seems like the trajectory of people's, like, the addiction's getting greater, the attention span's getting smaller, so the pieces of content become more retarded basically because they need to group people's attention in a short amount of time, and people just sound so dumb. And you listen to people speak and the words they abbreviate and the things they say, and they just hurt your brain. And that was you once upon a time, and it just hurts you. And then the final stage is you want to start creating rather than consuming, because you have all this free time and you realize the opportunity in life to create, whether that's music, whether that's pieces of art, whether that's this, and you just decide to start creating. And so after a year and a half, I'd say about a year, I got back on social media for social reasons. That's a stupid thing to say because it just completely disregards everything that I went on about. Not social reasons to build up my status and network, and but I don't use it. I just use it to post. Literally, I just use it to post. So I don't even touch it anymore, and I still have the same mindset as I did when I didn't have it at all, because I don't scroll, I don't go through stories or anything, I don't post. And life is so much better. You have so much more free time. You will get bored at first. It's inevitable. But then eventually your dopamine receptors regulate themselves and boring things become fun. Like, genuinely, I get excited to read or listen to books or listen to podcasts or learn more than I used to get excited about scrolling. And it's crazy. It's just crazy how much your dopamine receptors flood when you're on social media, and the progressive things in life become mundane and boring. Not after you get off it. I genuinely believe if you want a successful life, you at least need to restrict your social media use to night times at least after 7 p.m. or even after 1 p.m., 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. If you want to make strong progress in your life, and you want to be on top of life, and you want to reduce your anxiety and your stress, and increase your self-perception and your image, because that definitely does alter when you're viewing artificial people, highly edited people, unrealistic expectations. And this is why everyone in my generation, my age, wants to get rich so quickly. They don't make 10-year plans anymore. They make 10-day plans, 10-hour plans, and they give up on things because it's all just fake motivation. It's all misperceptions of people living a lot bigger in life. And as an accountant, I can tell you there's a lot of people that show very lavish lives, but their bank account doesn't say the same thing. So yeah, it's definitely if you want to have a great amount of success in your life in a short amount of time, as ironic as it is, getting or reducing your time on social media will make a huge impact, and your plans of your goals and your horizons will extend more, because you have more time to think about it for a longer period of time of your life and your trajectory, and you're able to make the appropriate changes and adjustments. So yeah, that's how it is. To stay off it, you just got to stick to it for a few weeks, and then after a few weeks your mind just opens and you just realize how ridiculous social media is as an addiction. So yeah, have a good day. Thank you. Bye.